The wild natural world, a beautiful place, is it? Well, absolutely not. It is a cold, desolate, morally bankrupt environment where both the inanimate and animate have tremendous determination to make our lives much worse than they actually are. Why do you think a gazelle is so panicky nearly all the time? Well, that's because on a generational scale, when they hung around a bush enjoying the rejuvenating arid scorching breeze of the African savanna, a creepy weird lion pops out of nowhere and invites them for dinner, without having so much as a courtesy of a "hello sir, how's your family?" There are some animals that we almost immediately tend to associate with rampant criminality, evil for the sake of evil. Tigers, sharks, wolves, all are considered fruits from the poison tree. But some other animals much closer to our hearts because they've been gentrified in our mind by our close proximity to them or by their innocent illustrations in cartoons. So much so, in fact, we forget that some of those animals are orders in magnitude more dangerous than the ones we fear. A few examples: how about the dog? Our precious companion and best friend, although safe when kept responsibly, deletes 30,000 humans on a yearly basis. The shark, that monstrosity, it only kills 5 every year. What about your other best friend, the cat? Look at him, it is cuddly, it is fluffy, it is cute, and it is a rampant homicidal lunatic. In the US alone, cats killed 3 billion birds in a single year, which begs a legitimate question. Look your cat in the eyes and ask yourself, what would be your relationship if you were a bit smaller, say the size of a mouse? As for the so-called blood-craven monstrosity, the wolf, it kills 0 humans most years. And when it hunts to eat. The cat hunts for sport. How else would you explain the fact that you feed it every single day and it still has the determination to go outside and kill 3 billion birds? Another animal that not so long ago was considered to be quite the friendly fellow is casually devoted to the most frivolous acts of gratuitous violence and is extremely dangerous to humans. The protagonist of this video, the hippo. Let's start at the beginning. The baby hippo gets born literally in deep water and must be thinking, oh wow, thanks mom. The baby is about 90 pounds and cannot swim. The first thing it does in its life is to use the floor as a jumping support so that it doesn't drown. It was born 5 seconds ago, so understandably it is still naive. As a result, it assumes that at the surface it will start living a good life, only to be welcomed by the scorching heat of the African savanna. It has a sensitive skin, no fur, and is at the mercy of the unforgiving sunburn. For the first couple of weeks, the only relationship the baby has is with its mother. She walked away from the hippo clan for the special occasion so that the baby can remain safe from a really toxic family. After the first couple of weeks, the kid and the parent go back to the clan, and what the kid finds there is a f***ing nightmare. The family is made up of over 100 deadly psychotic megalomaniacs, every single one of which choose violence as a way of life. I fail to understand why hippos are so overrepresented in children cartoons. They are not pure-hearted, loving creatures. Quite the contrary, mon ami. They're among the most aggressive animals known in living memory. The family lives in a rigid hierarchy, where there's generally one dominant male, the alpha, and they regularly fight with other males because of female competition. It is brutal, not exactly the paragon of a hospitable environment for the kid or for anyone else for that matter. In fact, the males may even decide to flatten the kid, generally for 2 reasons. First, to control overpopulation. Second, to make the mother fertile again so that she would want to have another kid. Healthy marital discussion is not really the strong suit. However, the advantage of being part of such an aggressive family is that all other predators stay away from the babies. Even lions, who have a natural habit of huffing and puffing and roaring and biting, humble themselves in the face of a hippo. At age 7 to 9, the baby hippo is now an adult. It is 13 feet long and 5 feet tall at the shoulder and weighs over 2 tons, the same weight as a 4-wheel drive. It is the biggest land mammal on Earth, after the elephant and the rhino. It has a bite force capable of going at ease through a watermelon. Only 4 animals in the world bite harder. And because it learned well from its family, it is now a psychotic connoisseur of violence. It kills on a yearly basis 20 times as much as a lion. And unlike lions, hippos are vegetarians, so they don't have a survival vested interest in turning your life into a nightmare. And yet, if one of them spots you, it will immediately interrupt whatever it is doing and make you its priority. A hippo would chase you with exceptional commitment to the task. You will find it impossible to believe that it isn't personal. Loving the neighbor doesn't really apply to hippo, which is why it launches unprovoked attacks towards all other animals in its ecosystem. Well, all except elephants. Elephants are off limits for everyone. Having no fur, the murderous four-wheel drive is particularly vulnerable to sunburn, which is why it stays around large bodies of water. Hippos are considered to be semi-aquatic animals. They can hold their breath for about 5 minutes, and when they need air, they rise to the surface for a quick breath and go back in the water again. They're so genetically conditioned for that mechanism that they do it even in their sleep. Although hippos are committed to having a toxic relationship with nearly every animal around, they have a good and functional relationship with fish. When they're underwater, they let the fish in their mouth to clean their teeth, which also rid them of bacterial infection while providing food to the fish at the same time. Fish also get food from the hippo's back door, giving a literal essence to ass kissing. Well, every colleague would be jealous of that skill, don't we? Or with that colleague. Oh sorry, let's move on. Like most criminals, nighttime is when the hippopotamus is most active. They're no longer hiding from the heat of the sun and are free to travel to get food. Their heavy body needs a lot of nourishment. They require almost 90 pounds of grass on a daily basis. And on that lovely expedition, they will murder a bunch of other animals, because why not? Within the clan, hippos' social behavior is a disaster. As mentioned before, they live in a strict hierarchy with generally one dominant male. The alpha marks its territory by spreading feces all over it. It keeps the species with the most food for himself, keeps all the female of the clan for himself, no other male will get an entanglement. Not on his watch, no. The alpha is also responsible for resolving conflicts in the clan by means of capital punishments. It is simultaneously judge, jury, and executioner. During old age, being an alpha male is a very unhealthy hobby since it has a massive target on its back. The younger hippos will regularly challenge its leadership and will likely succeed. For adults who have a fiber worth of brain cells, they'll retire from the practice of violence and be caretakers and educators. After all, 40 to 50 years of life means that they had ample time to learn how to be a successful hippo. They transmit their knowledge to the younger ones, which makes them essential to the clan's prosperity. During these last days, they stay more humble and peaceful because after all, being relatively unnoticed is a great way to live a long and prosperous life in the African savannah.